I am proving to the world right now that this community has information as to where BlackRock dumped their positions down into 2 weeks in advance. Talk about inflation in today's report. All right, so nonetheless, tomorrow our attention is going to shift towards, obviously, of course, the Iran-U.S. tensions. Headlines around that entire front: Hamas, uranium, whether or not negotiations are ongoing or not, or whether attacks continue to escalate or Trump's rhetoric continues to broaden on possible, you know, attacks, so on and so forth, or any back and forth rhetoric from other jurisdictions, Israel, Iran, so on and so forth, that escalate the situation instead of feed into the de-escalation narrative, or what we're going to be looking for any possible sell volume to pick up considerably. On the data front, tomorrow is going to be very impactful considering the current sentiment. And the current sentiment is that inflation is set to rise substantially, right? I believe right now the market's already pricing in a substantial increase in the inflationary figures. So tomorrow we're going to be focused on whether or not that happens at what the market was expecting, whether or not the inflation data comes out much stronger or higher or elevated, more so than what the market has currently priced in, or whether we see a complete flip on its head and the market having priced in or expecting higher inflation actually doesn't happen, and we see inflation come out at previous readings or below market expectations, which would be the most favorable for risk assets tomorrow. We also have some other key important things to pay attention to, like core durable goods orders. We have multiple scattered Fed speakers tomorrow, and we have new home sales. Rolling into the Asia session tomorrow, we do have some Tokyo Core CPI. We need to be mindful of that because we have seen headlines, especially in the fundamental chat, where yen intervention woes are still on the forefront. I believe I shared an article for you guys on that this rising somewhere in here. So I'm still, yeah, right here. So I'm still seeing intervention vocabulary, right? And the headlines. That is, of course, troubling as risk asset investors. If we were to see a spike in Japanese yen strength due to some type of intervention, could lead to unwinding of carry trades. Unwinding of carry trades usually tends to reflect itself in negative price action on risk assets, so on and so forth. So just again, another thing to be mindful of as we head into tomorrow. So tomorrow, Iran headlines, inflation and US data, Fed speakers, and any FX volatility that could affect global market sentiment. All right. That's what's going to be on our forefront. As we roll into Asia session, I will make sure to write out an if then report for you guys so you have kind of like an idea of what to be mindful of in terms of what could happen from the Iran front, so on and so forth, inflation, economic data that could either support risk sentiment or inversely weigh on it. So that way you guys have that. What I do want to highlight though is this. This was crazy to see. And I just want to show you all how powerful this community is. Okay. Now, this is not to be like we told you so, but I truly believe that more people in this environment that we are in right now, where everything's about to be ran by algorithms, everything is about to be in, is already most likely controlled by artificial intelligence. And if you do not have a competitive edge as a retail investor, even if you're just a hodler and someone who dollar cost averages into crypto and you do not have access to the right data, you are going to miss out on not only so many opportunities, but just life-changing wealth because you're the markets are way too manipulative in this day and age to not have the right data. Data is the new currency, right? So this was interesting. And look how many views this has: 456,000 impressions. Okay. $1.3 billion IBIT dark pool dump shakes Bitcoin market. A massive $1.29 billion dark pool block trade hit BlackRock's IBIT this morning, marking what traders are calling one of the largest institutional Bitcoin ETF prints ever recorded. All right. And what I want you guys to pay attention to is if we come over to Bitcoin's price action, we can see right now that price action has traded directly after this IBIT dump straight down into a dark pool. First, it dumped straight down to the freaking absolute pip to the 75753 dark pool. And now it is currently trading at time of recording at the 74778 dark pool. And we created a sell delta held at this dark pool where you can see inverse high, low taken. Here's the 3, and here's the dump straight down into the next dark pool. So here's your delta held pattern here in this area, right? Now I want you guys to see, looking back, when we had access to this information in this community. So here's the IBIT dump, y'all. Look at this. Here's the IBIT dump. Now, if we go back to May 13th in this area, when price was trading at a dark pool at the 79140 and around the 78616 dark pool, we go back into the private community and we come up to the Bitcoin Delta section. And you can see right here in this community, here's the timestamp, Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 at 10:34 a.m. when Bitcoin's price action was trading at the 78615 dark pool. You can even see here, Bitcoin's PA was at 79356. Look at the dark pools that Scalper gave. 75753, 74778. Y'all, I am proving to the world right now that this community has information as to where BlackRock dumped their positions down into 2 weeks in advance. Look at this. This is freaking insane. Wednesday, May 13th.
Damn, bro.
Here's the numbers, 75753, 74778. And look at price action right now. Look at this. 75773 was yesterday where the IBIT dump happened and came straight down into that level. And then today, price action sells continued and they continued to dump straight down into the next dark pool. Dark pools that we had almost 3 weeks in advance.
Bro.
So anybody that says that CYPRX doesn't have institutional information, yo. But the crazier part is that this dump actually happened before IBIT's dump yesterday. And where did the dump actually start from? If we go back and we look, we see another sell delta held pattern at the dark pool at the 79140 right here in this area. The scalper gave all the way back on May 13th. So look at the delta held pattern. Here you can see failure swing high after taking highs, creating a new structure leg to the downside or a new sell wall. Here's your low. After that low was created, buyers tried to make an attempt to defend. They failed. The next dark pool at the 78616 held, and we dumped, y'all, from dark pool to dark pool. And it's now May 27th.
Anybody questioning this shit is retarded at this point.
Oh, shit. Hey, I didn't say that. He said that.
I agree with you, bro. Whoever said that.
I got the heart to say it. That's what I gotta say.
So we shouldn't use ICT concepts.
Yo, like seriously. And the thing that I was trying to show you guys is look at the masses. You know how many people look at this? 500,000 views. Imagine if 500,000 people realize that CYPRX has the data. Yeah.
Bro, you want a turnkey business. This is it. You can set it and forget it after this.
It is low-key mind-blowing to me that the masses are so distracted to this bullcrap. Quietly sitting in the background, here we are in this community. And over the last 4 years, what myself and Scalper have built, it shows. It's right here. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. We'll wrap it up there. Tomorrow, you guys know what to pay attention to. I will make sure to write you guys a report as we roll over into Asia, so you have an update. It'll probably be in between the New York and Asia session rollover. See if any more headlines come out before Asia session starts. Great conversation today. Everybody that participated, pat yourselves on the back. It was great. Conversation was good. I'd like to do more of these. Like I said, once a week if we can. I hope that you guys enjoyed this today. I don't know if they're always going to be like this, but how we kind of just shot the shit with each other today and talked, that's kind of how I want them to be. I don't really want them to be scheduled or like, I want them to be as natural as possible. So I appreciate everybody's time. That's all that I have for you guys. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thanks, Cypress.
No problem.
Thank you, boy. Thank you.
Thank you, Cypress.
Thank you.
You guys take it easy.
Let's go, dark pool.
You guys take it easy.
Aqua.